YouTube channel Nos Confunden. Where do we really live? Are the planets actually located beyond Antarctica? One of the most provocative questions that emerges from the fracture of the official narrative is, are the planets we were taught to observe in the sky actually much closer than we think? What if, instead of existing in the void of outer space, they were located beyond the ice walls that surround the known lands? Nos Confunden. The map of Terra Infinita offers a new perspective. In it, the so-called planets, like Mars, Venus, Saturn, or Jupiter, are not distant celestial bodies, but other Earth circles, that is, other dome worlds, separated by gigantic walls and protected by multiple layers of invisible domes. This revelation, of course, is inconceivable under the dominant scientific narrative, but it aligns with ancient accounts, explorer chronicles, and above all, with the absolute secrecy surrounding one specific region of the world, Antarctica. Since 2009, NASA has been developing the so-called Ice Bridge project, an ambitious program of reconnaissance flights which, according to the official version, aims to map the thickness of the Antarctic ice and study changes in the polar layers. However, what draws attention is the scale of this operation, the duration of the project, over a decade, and especially the type of technology used. Nos Confunden. Radars capable of penetrating deep ice layers, infrared sensors, and low-flying military aircraft along highly classified routes. Why so much interest? What are they really looking for in Antarctica? Why does an agency like NASA, which supposedly studies outer space, need to carry out constant field research in a frozen region of our own world? Could this be yet another surveillance operation that seals off the frozen zones of the South? Where what we were taught as planet Earth ends, another reality begins. And those ice walls would not mark the edge of a continent, but rather the physical boundary of our dome, beyond which lie other lands and civilizations. Nos Confunden. The level of secrecy surrounding Antarctica is hard to ignore. International treaties, scientific bases run by military forces, no-fly zones over specific areas, restricted access for civilians, and constant military deployment justified with vague terms like logistics or environmental protection. Since when does the environment need to be protected by armed troops and aerial defense systems? Everything seems to indicate that the true purpose is to prevent spontaneous civilian access to the border zones of the dome, those where the ice begins to fracture and the terrain reveals pathways, cracks, or structures beyond what is visible. So, is Mars behind the South Pole? In the Terra Infinita map, Mars is not a spherical floating planet, but rather a terrestrial region beyond the Antarctic ice walls. Nos Confunden. Just like the other worlds or planets, Mars would be a horizontal environment located within another dome. This Earth circle presents conditions quite different from the official narrative and has been historically linked to legends of warrior races and conflicts over control of ancient knowledge. The reason why the officially released images of Mars look so similar to Earth's deserts is not a technical coincidence. They are projections or footage taken in similar environments or perhaps within this very different region. What is presented as space exploration is, in reality, a hidden cartography of unexplored regions beyond the Antarctic walls. Nos Confunden. If the planets are truly located beyond Antarctica, then everything we've been taught about outer space collapses as a grand illusion. We do not live on a spinning sphere. We live within a sealed environment, under an invisible projector dome that simulates stars, galaxies, and celestial movements that are not physically real, but part of a constructed illusion, designed to keep humanity enclosed and unquestioning.
YouTube channel Nos Confunden.